And what is up? Welcome to the Sloppy Syndicate, folks. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. We have none other than Renaissance Manson in the building, and your guess is as good as mine. I do not know who he is. He's a man of mystery, but you can hear some of his jingles in the background. Definitely a lyrical expert and has some pretty good tunes. So without further ado, let's bring in the man of mystery. How we doing?
How's it going, buddy? Pretty good. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Pleasure to have you on the show.
For sure.
And yeah, so Renaissance Manson, based out of the West Coast, a man of mystery, and we're going to keep it that way. And
Definitely.
so tell us a little bit about Renaissance Manson, what got started, how you got started, and first of all, where did the name come from?
I actually tried to be Renaissance man in the beginning because that kind of describes my style. I do a lot. I do a lot of different styles and a lot of different types of things. So that was like Renaissance man's a person who can kind of do a little bit of everything, good at a lot of different things. Then I realized there's like probably 100 Renaissance mans out there, and there was no way you were gonna find me in that sea of those guys. I actually started my Instagram at Renaissance Manson just because there wasn't a whole bunch of Renaissance mans. And then I said I might as well just go full bore with the Renaissance Manson name. So yeah, that's kind of where the name came from. Charlie Manson. I was actually reading a lot of in LA. There was a lot of articles right about the time I started the project about the 50th anniversary of the Manson murders. So as I was sitting there, it was like, oh, Renaissance Manson would be pretty cool as well. And then I ended up with it, a little bit after that.
Yeah, I dig it. So I wasn't sure, like you said, Manson or Marilyn Manson, because some of the songs are a little bit dark. You get a dark vibe off of them. So that's where my mind instantly went to was Charles Manson or Marilyn Manson with the
Yeah.
Renaissance. But yeah, definitely a unique story and some unique music. So how would you describe your music to? I mean, I have a hard time describing your style of music as well. So I'm going to let you take the reins on that and let the listeners know how would you describe your music?
Yeah, I think lyrically it's kind of I used to be in like punk and heavy metal bands where it was more about the music, and this new project I'm on, this Renaissance Manson stuff is really about the lyrics, less about the music. Even though my music, I'm really proud of what I'm doing, and I think it's really good as well. A little more simplified than what I used to do, simplified version of what I used to do. Um, but so I would say if you're gonna say it's a lyrically based project, it's horrorcore because the lyrics go like to all these different dark places, like you said.
Okay.
Tell these crazy stories of like usually most of my songs are storytelling in a sense. I just start with the first line and see where it goes from there, and sometimes I end up with 100 great lines in a row that make a song. It's kind of like stream of conscious or train of thought type thing.
Okay.
So, but then when it comes to the music, I just write whatever comes out. I mean, some of my songs are classical feeling, some are hip hop style. A couple of my songs are straight rock songs. One of my newest songs called "I Don't Give a Shit" has if you listen to it, it changes styles as like the first verse is reggae, the second verse is ska, the third verse is like a lullaby, the fifth verse is a punk verse. So it's like I literally put 5 styles in one song for that song. So it's kind of interesting. And like I think I mentioned to you, the song I'm working on right at the moment is an industrial metal song.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm a rap project, but at the same time, I'm an old punk heavy metal kid that's making rap now.
So it's essentially you're combining all your favorite genres, kind of into one. So I
Yeah,
dig it. Now we just kind of you recently started the project up, and just kind of getting you some exposure and getting the tunes out there.
definitely.
So for the folks watching, I have the link tree for Renaissance Manson below, so you can check him out there. So the folks that are listening on the podcast, where could we find some information about Renaissance Manson?
So my Instagram is the only thing. Wish I could do TikTok and all that others. I don't do Twitter. I mean, I really am a technophobe in a sense. I don't like technology that much. I got started on Instagram, and luckily I was able to like not only get a hold of it, but actually enjoy what I'm doing. So I do that, and I do it well, I think. But that's all I got for info. But I'm on YouTube. My Instagram, though, if you check it out, I'm really proud of what I'm doing. I got a lot of crazy ass posts that you might trip you out if you check them out. But music, YouTube is what I listen to mainly, but I got Spotify as well. I hear myself and other things on Spotify. I'm on all the Apple Musics and all that stuff. So I think the only thing I'm not on is SoundCloud. Otherwise, I think you'd find me.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I just want the listeners to be able to find you. That way they can go tune into some of your music and jam out, such as I have. Um,
Definitely.
so what? And I know there's a lot of bands out there, kind of like Slipknot and things like that that wear masks. And I'm
Yeah.
always curious, why as to why. Um, some of them may be shrouded in mystery. Do you want to give us a little hint at maybe why you're shrouded in mystery?
The main reason, my manager came up with the idea, and I have a profession that I work with. I work with kids, so don't want kids. The kids that I work with ending up, hearing
True.
the guy that they work with, the music, and it's all of a sudden you can never think of him or look at him the same again.
Right. All right.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Fair point. I know, I'm always curious. I couldn't do it. I hate, just trying to perform with it. I can only imagine like Slipknot, doing an hour set within a mask, and yeah.
Yeah,
That's just kind of something that's always intrigued me, and kind of, I've always wondered why. Even Hollywood Undead started with the masks, and
yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was a West Coast thing or kind of a, you're a huge, you know, I don't know if you're pretty much an underground artist, I would say,
yeah,
and
yes,
a lot of underground artists kind of wear the mask, and they have that persona per se. So yeah, we got that cleared up. Perfect
for sure.
answer. So now we know why you wear it, and we can all respect that. To keep the uh, work and
Two separate people, yeah, for sure.
right,
There's a me and there's the Renaissance Manson for sure.
right. And so, where do with the several songs that you've made so far, where do you want to? What are your plans? What are your goals? Say in the next year or so with Renaissance Manson.
Well, so the first EP was kind of like a really raw. I mean, really, like I did a whole bunch of different things. The second EP has a trap horrorcore kind of feel, like a little bit trap beats, and then also a couple other songs. Then the third EP that's already written and I'm working on after this industrial metal song I'm working on is the first song of the fourth EP, and that EP is a metal hardcore metal slash hardcore metal type album. The third EP I'm working on though right now is actually more of a melodic punk or pop punk style, somewhat. So it's kind of I kind of do. I'm not only do I do everything, I'm also making EPs that are different each time. So the next EP, I think the next EP has some hits on it, like literally, like some of these pop style hits that are on that EP that have punk, punk. You basically are punk songs that are just translated to hip hop a little bit, and I think some of those songs are the best songs I've written that are coming out this year. And the guitar parts, my guitar part player already laid down the guitar parts for it. I just got to build around his guitar part and lay down the vocals.
Okay.
Then after that is my metal type my hardcore slash metal type EP, and there's always a rap song involved in these ones as well, even though they're not as much rap. And then I probably will come back to rap. Actually, I'll probably drop a little early years type Renaissance Manson where I dropped a handful of songs off of my first band, which was a progressive punk band, with like a little bit of Descendants or Coheed and Cambria style
Nice. Okay.
band. So yeah, I got like if you think about all of that, I'm making a different style EP every time. That's
Okay.
what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Not
and
on purpose. It's just the way I write. I just written so many different types of things.
right, and as a person that loves all genres of music, I can respect that. I like when rap and kind of country came around, they were calling it hip hop, and that was that has since blown up, and then you got rap and metal, and there's just so many things that are combining that are making phenomenal music. There's no limit. I mean, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, such as we see in your songs. You have so many different genres based, and you write, like you said, multiple genres. And what kind of pushed you? As you stated, you were in bands previously, primarily punk in that. So what made you kind of transition into this role or this direction with your music?
I lost with the band thing. I had a great band, a band I probably couldn't top, and the they all had kids basically, including myself. But the drummer had to drop out, the bass player had to drop out. Me and it's like I didn't play music for a handful of years, and it was like I wasn't gonna find another drummer or bass player. I mean that could do what we were doing, and if I did, it would be really hard. And so me and my guitar player and I, we kept on doing our songs a little bit acoustically, but never gigged or anything. And then all of a sudden, I started messing with lyrics a little differently. I always wrote like lyrics like you said, punk songs or pop punk songs or whatever. A lot of emo stuff. Most of my songs were about girls, straight up until up until this project. And then I started like switching to this rap style, the way I played with the words differently. I love playing with words. I mean, that's my main thing. It just was always in a rock setting before. But yeah. So now I'm playing with words in more of a rap setting. And then when I started to let go the first couple of times, I was like writing some really dark, like bad shit, but it was good. And I was like, well, shit, I might be onto something. Let me keep on rolling with this. And then I started thinking about hip hop and rap music itself, and trying to put a hip hop and rap twist, or maybe choosing different instruments on the MIDI on the Logic Pro that weren't the distorted guitar and the bass and the straight up drums. And if you listen closely, I think you'll see that my music is still like a punk style music, but just with all these hip hop style instruments or hip hop nods too. So it's hard to explain. It was all about the words. I switched the words up, and the words all of a sudden became rap style, and then I just went with that. But the words are before, like I said, I wrote love songs like in a pop punk, emo punk or emo style. And all of a sudden, if you listen to my stuff now, you would never know that because I write these really dark, like wicked horrorcore type stories. So
Yeah,
I guess I just
I
had to
wouldn't
change
guess that. So
that. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's crazy. I think it's like most of my people that know me, that most people don't know this project or me. I haven't told anybody hardly. It's me, but or they
okay.
don't know about it. But the ones that do, they just like they trip on it. Like how the hell did this happen? But
And I definitely could see, like you said, horrorcore. Now that you're talking a little more, and I'm replaying some of the lyrics in my mind.
uh,
You can almost get an Ice Nine Kills vibe.
cool.
With kind of their horror. They're they're a lot heavier. But
Yeah.
as far as like the lyrics and stuff like that are kind of similar. So, and do you mix? Do you do all the work yourself, other than the guitars, or how does that happen?
Yeah, no, I play all the music on a MIDI, and I just use different. I even lay down the drum tracks with my fingers on the drum pads on the MIDI pad. If it comes to guitar, I usually write the part, but my guitar player, who's still with me from my old band, like plays the part for me because he plays it as a guitar player would. I'm a makeshift amateurish guitar player. I write good music on the guitar, but I don't play all that well.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I write it all. I play it all except for the guitar parts that I wrote, and then I mix it all and level it all on the MIDI on the Logic Pro program, and then I give it to my guy. His name is Jalen. He's in Jalen We Trust. He's the one who actually like. It sounds cool when you hear our version, my finished version with my guitar player. Then when he gets a hold of it, all of a sudden it sounds like what you're hearing on YouTube or the radio. He makes it legit, pumps it up, mixes. It's already mixed. I should say mixes it, but makes tweaks to it that make it even way more legit than what we had, and then also masters it, and then it's ready to go. So yeah, I do most of it, but then I have a guy who like makes it legit for me.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I'm going to just do a quick overview of the singles and the album you have out as of now. So you
Cool.
have Rosolano Drive, you have Fried on the Sidewalk, and then your self-titled EP. So you can find those on Spotify, YouTube. You can find Renaissance Manson on IG as well. So definitely check him out. And as you said, you have another EP that's kind of dropping, coming in the future. Do you
Yeah.
plan on doing like any tours or any local shows or?
So yeah, I have a show, one show of mine, the Mint. I've only had one show so far, and I have another show at a club called the Mint in like on the Melrose area. That's June 29th, but I'm also working on a show for a tour. Some of the guys from the trenches, O Dreamer and the Unforgiven, the guys who are tomorrow. They're coming.
Okay.
I think they're coming to play some shows, and I'm trying to get us a gig in LA where I'm at, and I'll jump on with them in that gig. And looking forward to, the trenches are a big part of what I'm doing right now. Want to give a shout out to them, Bleach Boy, O Dreamer, X Stitch. I got a whole bunch of guys in there. I mean, there's got to be like 50 of us at least, maybe more. And so like we're kind of working together, and that's one thing I'm really trying to make happen for us. And then after that, I want to get gigs. It's kind of funny. I almost had one gig, and then they heard a few more songs than the original ones they heard. Switched it out because they were like, "Oh, you were going to be on alternative night," and then we heard these songs and realized you're not a good fit.
Okay.
So yeah. So I want more shows. I want tours, but just got to find the gigs and make them happen.
Yeah, and like you said, I think with O Dreamer, The Unforgiven, I mean that's phenomenal music by all of you. I think
For
that'd be
sure,
a pretty kick-ass lineup to have all three kind of in one room or one stage and just have a show to rock out that night. Because
definitely,
all three of you are unique in your own way and kind of have your subgenres and the way your style of music. So not one of you are alike. So it kind of be, it'd just be kind of cool to see, how the lineup would go and, all
definitely.
the different varieties and things like that.
I've been to some shows like that. They were some of the better shows I've been to because yeah, you get hit with a whole bunch of different stuff. Now I didn't think about it that way, but when after you said that, it's like yeah, I was thinking a couple of shows in my head that were like, yep, I remember that happening and it was awesome. So hopefully that's the way it comes across. Yeah,
Yeah. And, I know the Whiskey Go-Go is huge out there. So that'd be pretty epic. I know a lot of people want to play that. Um,
yeah. I
so,
played in my one of my old bands. I played the Whiskey and the Roxy in a band called Euthanasia. It was a reggae
okay.
punk band. Or oh man, that was the Doors are Jim Morrison's one of my biggest influences. I mean, I go back
Okay.
to classic rock as a little kid. Danzig is also one of my biggest influences. Mike Patton's also one of my biggest influences. But yeah, when I was playing on the Whiskey, I went to UCLA for college because Jim Morrison went to UCLA for college. The Doors were, that's how I chose the college that I went to. So when I played the Whiskey, obviously I was like, I'm literally playing on the stage where Jim Morrison and the Doors played. That was one of the highlights of my life, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like the Grand Old Opry of the West Coast, per se.
For
Um,
sure.
so and I see a lot of artists now that are playing at the Whiskey Go Go and the Roxy, and it's just I don't know, it's a super popular gig that you want to play. It just has that kind of like the Rainbow Bar, with Remy and that.
Definitely.
Back in the day, it has that stigma or that has that the lust that you want to play it because of like you said, the Doors and just so many
Yeah,
phenomenal acts have played there. So,
for sure. For
and
sure.
that was my next question. Who were you influenced kind of by? So you brought that up. Now, on the are you any rap influences, or if so, who?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm from Fresno, but I mean, I spent a lot of time in the Bay Area, so I do like some Bay Area rap. I mean, Too Short, I like Too Short, but I definitely like Andre Nicotina. I like Mac Dre. I like Del the Funky Homo Sapien, but I'm big on KRS-One, Rakim, Eminem, Logic. I have. It's funny because I started out with classical rock, went to heavy metal, went to punk rock, then went to college and started hearing. I got my degree in music history, so I started like hearing everything from classical music up to today's music. Kind of 3 years of hearing the history of music basically. So that changed everything for me and what I did from that point on. But yeah, so but rap was always like the constant as well, right alongside of all that stuff. Like I was always getting I had NWA was one of the first things as a kid that I got, even though I probably shouldn't have got it.
Right.
Ice Cube, things like that. So, yeah, so it's funny. It's not like rap was a brand new thing for me. I just never actually tried to put it to the microphone before. And when I did that first night, it was like a make or break. When I said, let's try this to my buddy, it was like, this may not work. And if it wouldn't have worked, we probably would have never tried it again. And we caught fire for basically Architect. If you hear my song, Architect Narcolepsy, the first half of it, Architect, is the first night I ever tried to rap. Yes, and we saved that and used it in the song.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it's like, damn, this is pretty good. Let's keep it rolling. And then here we are, like 3 years later, getting better and better with each song, I think. And then now also coming back to our rock roots, a lot of songs I've had that just never used are getting put to use, which is amazing because I love these songs. Just never thought I'd get around to doing them. So I'm
Right.
happy about this.
And I'm excited, as I listen to, the self-titled EP, just to see what you come out with in the future, because definitely a lot of talent, for sure. And I just want to see where you take it. There's so many avenues that you can take it, all good avenues, but I like the mashups,
Yeah.
and we have they used to do, I don't know if they do it here anymore or not at the local radio station, because who listens to radio anymore, right? But
Yeah. You're
they
right. Yeah.
had
I do a little bit. Yeah.
it was called the Scratch and Sniff Show, and it's where they
Uh,
combined rock and rap. So it'd be like, they mash it up, and I fell in love with that. And hell, I was younger, I was still in high school when that show was around, so I don't even know if it's still around, but if it is, definitely check it out.
for
The
sure.
Scratch and Sniff, and they mash everything up. And primarily, I grew up in a small farm town, so I grew up, country. Probably
Uh,
not country as country could be, but pretty country.
you
And
know, Fresno's a little country too, where I'm from. It's a little town in California, but yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you definitely.
so I got the, a lot of country influences, but at the same time, my dad was a big rocker, heavy metal, Pantera, Megadeth, Ted
Uh,
Nugent, you know, all the,
nice.
Bob Seger,
Yeah, the big
all
four,
the old schools.
Anthrax.
So,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I had that both sides, and it was so. I remember when hip hop came out, and it was so crazy to so many people out there, almost like they couldn't fathom it. Like, oh, who's going to play country and rap together? That's stupid. That's like, it doesn't go together, type of deal. And
Yeah,
now it's just like, it's blown up.
for sure. Yeah,
You got Jelly Roll, primarily started out with country kind of rap, and he's playing huge festivals now. And
yeah,
it's cool to see things evolve that, you kind of were in the beginning, or you were around for in the beginning, that people said, oh, this isn't going to work, or this is stupid, or who wants to listen to this garbage, and like
yeah,
Big Smo and artists like that have actually kind of created that. And Colt Ford is another big one that kind of helped create that, and brought that to the forefront. So opposite of that, you're doing kind of rock, punk, emo, and rap together,
yeah.
versus the country. So and we have to put everything in a subgenre. So I mean, you'll have
It's
your
kind
own
of funny. You're right.
subgenre at some point. So
Yeah, I mean, hopefully one day. And that the funniest thing I might be doing is the thing that's coming out next is a cover. As kind of we're using the Gummy Bear song beat. You probably don't know that song unless you have kids, but if you do have kids, I'm sure you know it. Bleach Moy and I like put a collab together over the Gummy Bear song beat, and I'm really proud of it. I mean, it's gonna be hella funny. It's pretty sick too. So that should be coming out like in the next few couple weeks. And that's what you made me think of with that. It's like, yeah, we're our next song's a Gummy Bear, the Gummy Bear song. My
okay,
my 8-year-old and 5-year-old son love that song. And then when they hear my version that I made with Bleach Boy, they're like cracking up because I did some funny parts to copy the way they sang and sang it, but obviously with a few different words that my son shouldn't be listening. My son shouldn't be hearing my music really, and they do all the time, which is sad. But
right.
that's part of the deal. When you said country, I always think of the Redheaded Stranger, Willie Nelson, man. That album's my favorite. Top 10 albums, not just country, like of all time. I can hear that album nonstop. So I mean, yeah. Once again, like I knew country, and not a whole lot of. I mean, I knew my country. My dad had a George Strait greatest hits growing up. We had some Judds and Bonnie Raitt in the CD collection growing up. But obviously, when I went to college and got my degree in music history, there was the country stuff too. Obviously, when you have your degree in music history, they don't leave out any style. You know what I mean? So like and it's not like I walked away not liking all the styles. I walked away liking every style because I had good professors that showed you what each style was about and why, where it came from. And after you learn the history and kind of walk your way through it, you can appreciate every style of music. It's true. And that's the one, as an artist, that's why I'm sure you have a hard time putting me in a pocket. And I think most people do. It's only because I'm influenced and it's all in my head. The main reason I got that degree wasn't to teach or remember the facts of it, was just to fill my head with sounds that hopefully would come out one day after I studied it all, and so my sounds that I wrote would be, different, and maybe I was going for superior in a sense. Maybe I'm not to, maybe to some people I'm maybe one of the worst they've heard, but hopefully to some people I'm one of the best they've heard. And if the people that say that, it's probably because I spent 6 years at UCLA learning about the history of music.
Yeah, and who likes UCLA, right? No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
But no, I think it would be really cool to see. like just see what, and I'm thinking in my head, and now I'm thinking out loud with it. Just the, from listening to you, I think it'd be cool to, just do a cover of a rock song with the rap beat and how you kind of spit or how you kind of sing. I
Yeah,
think that would kind of come together and just, covers are big now. So I'm not saying go do a cover, but I would just be interested to see how you would come up with that and what it would sound like in the end. So
for sure. No, that would be. I mean, I have so many ideas, and that would be totally fun. The only thing about I get to meet with my partner once a week. The Logic is at his house, my guitar player, and I know some of my trenches guys. They probably get to work on their stuff 7 days a week, and I'm jealous of that. I get to work with my partner once a week. If I didn't have a wife and kids, I might go over to my buddies a few times a week. But
okay,
got happy wife, happy life kind of thing. It's like
yeah,
you want to. I got kids to raise and stuff to take care of, so I get away with a good 5 6 hour night. So yeah, if I had more time, either that or stuff like that's just going to take a few years to get to. But
right,
once a week is a happy medium, and I still get to keep my life intact. Yeah, I just want to get more and more stuff. But then I'm a perfectionist, and these songs like they take me like 6 7 8 weeks to write because I'm trying to get the music exactly right. And I take the last song, the Gummy Bear song that's about to come out. We kept take number 58. So yeah, for one
wow,
night I did 58 tries. You know what I mean? So it's like that's kind of where it's at. I get one night to like, but I wish I could knock 3 songs out in one night, but I knock like a half a song out in one night because I'm doing 58 takes trying to get it even better. So
right,
that's where I'm at.
yeah, and yeah, 58 takes. Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be banging my head on the wall, like, "Damn it, come on!" Like, just And I'm pretty OCD myself. Like,
yeah,
the podcast, I can't go back and listen to them because I critique myself to it, like to a
I
point
get
where
that.
it's unhealthy.
Yeah,
And
no,
I'll be
I
like,
get that.
oh, I'll count how many times I said or like silence, or I'm just like,
Yeah,
you know what, I'm gonna, someone edits for me. I don't listen to it as long as it sounds good. As long as I'm somewhat funny and it's presentable, put it up.
definitely,
But other than
definitely.
that, I don't want to hear it because I'm gonna pick it apart. So
I'm like you though. It's like autopilot is where I work best. If I sit down and try to write a song, that song's usually not very good at all. But if I just kind of like say I'm just gonna go for it and see what comes out, that's when my good stuff comes out. Definitely.
yeah, and that's kind of why I do the show the way I do. One, I hate the normal Q&A because every artist has had the same question 500 times, and
Yeah,
I'm sure it's boring for them. It's boring for me, and I work best free flowing. Not following a script or just essentially having the artist on and like you and I are doing, shooting the shit and talking. Learning about your music, and vice versa. So yeah, I
definitely,
understand working. The free flow,
for sure.
so much less stress, but you know you have way more stress than me when you have to edit, and I mean, you have no choice. You have to listen to it, and you listen to your last one 58 times. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And the thing, but yeah, there was a number 20 something was good, and there was a 42 and 43 that were good. But in the end, I'm glad I kept going because 58 was even better than the ones that were good. And so yeah, it's like that's just like you said, the OCD kind of thing. But I guess it's good because it makes my music perfect in a sense. I wish I could stop, but I keep on. I'm sure that I think we probably did 10 more after 58 just to make sure I couldn't be 58. So
right.
that's kind of funny. Yeah.
But yeah, that reminds me, like when I do some beard oils, I'm like, when I first started creating, it was like 30, 40 times. And I don't, it's sad to say I threw some against the wall because I'm like, just, what, trying to come up with a scent. I'm like, fuck this. I'm
Yeah.
done. Like, you just get so stressed out over it. But when's the Gummy Bear song drop? Do you have an official date, or just kind of keep a lookout for it on Spotify, YouTube?
The official date, well, it's this by this Sunday. My guy should be done with it. I sent it to him. He sent it back. I gave him a few more ideas, like on what we can make a little bit better, and that's what's going on right now. But I'm pretty sure he said by this Sunday. He said either he's gonna get it, send it to me, and it'll be good, or if it's not good, I'll come by and we'll work it out together on his couch. And then by Sunday, I'm gonna send it to Bleach Boy. He's the one that knows how to like get it all set up for the Spotify drops and all that stuff. And oh man, yeah, like I said, it's gonna make you laugh, and then the words are gonna also make you like, whoa, shit, and the beat's gonna make you want to dance. So it's kind of got a little bit of it's like you said, these covers now are the biggest hits, just like movies too. Every movie you see is a movie that's been already done. It's just being redone. So that's
Yeah.
kind of, that's where society is at. I think like they just want to hear something they know, and bop their head to it because they already know it, as opposed to like hearing something completely original and different, which is kind of what I do. And that kind of like shoots me in the foot a little bit. But then again, some of the best acts, the biggest acts were those crazy, original, different. I think it's funny. I'm a Little Richard fan, man. That dude was crazy and different. And look at how he like shocked the world. You know what I mean? James Brown was crazy and different, but look at he like changed everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, there's got to be one of those here and there, and I'm hoping that that'll be me. You know what I mean?
Awesome. So we're getting ready to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Any final words for the fans out there?
No, man. I mean, I appreciate you and having me on this. I want to shout out the trenches. I want to shout out Renaissance Manson. O Dreamer got me this gig. My guys, The Unforgiven, are tomorrow. Just please check out my music and give it a chance. If you have a certain genre, like you said, you might right away want to change, turn it off, flip it to the next song, and that might be your genre. Or if that's not it, try the next one, and that one probably, and but in the end, if you hear the words, I think my words are like, second to none. And if you look at my Instagram page, I think my posts are really fucking crazy, and they'll trip you the fuck out if you check them out. So
Yep. And
that's where it's at, man. Thank you, Donnie. I appreciate it.
and it definitely flows, your lyrics. And folks, I hope we were able to pleasure your ear holes just a bit, make them a little bit moist. And until next time, we'll see you on the next episode, and keep it sloppy. All right.
Cool. Thanks, Donnie.